Oh, welcome back. It's 6:30. It's Friday morning. Good to have you with us here on eNCA. The Western Cape's children under the age of 5 are carrying a double burden of malnutrition. Let me explain. It's according to the findings of the recently released Western Cape Stunting Baseline Survey. Now, it claims that as much as the levels are lower, it's still a concern. Let's try and find out how concerning this is and how important this research is. Joined by Emeritus Professor Marjanne Senekal, University of Cape Town's human nutrition expert. And Prof, good morning to you, and I appreciate your time. Stunting is very, very serious, and I know it's been a problem down in the Cape areas for some time. Help me understand what your research has found.
Thank you for, and good morning. I think the important thing is to say that this is a survey that was commissioned by the Western Cape government and the D.G. Murray Trust to get a picture of the current situation of malnutrition in the Western Cape in the total Western Cape. Specifically, they were interested in the stunting, but with obesity, overweight and nutrition, obesity also being a problem, we looked at that as well. And they wanted to, this was going to serve is a baseline before they initiate further interventions, and the idea is for it then to be repeated in a few years' time. So just as a little bit of a backdrop. Stunting and obesity are both forms of malnutrition, obviously on the different opposite sides of the
spectrum.
At any rate, so what we found here in the study is that both of these problems are still prevalent. The stunting was just over 17%, which is actually about 6% lower than it was in the Western Cape in 2016. So initiatives that are in place for the management of this problem may have contributed to this decrease, even with the whole COVID situation. And then it is much lower than about the 27% nationally. So even though it is still a very big concern that 17% of children are stunted, it is much lower than in the rest of the
it's low, but of course it's always going to be a big concern, Prof, as well. I understand you're the principal investigator of this study as well. Help someone like me understand, when we're talking about these two different spectrums as far as malnutrition is concerned, how is it that we can have a malnutrition issue where children's growth are being stunted, and we can have an obesity problem as well? Just help me understand why we're seeing two such polar opposite problems, but at the same time.
Yeah, so this is a very interesting concern, and in the children, it actually goes back. It's so interesting that the same risk factor could actually contribute to overweight or obesity. So, for example, exclusive breastfeeding is protective against overweight and obesity and low birth weight, and so we had only 20% exclusive breastfeeding in the under 6-month-olds that we included in the study. And then low birth weight is also a risk factor for both. I lost the thread there for a moment. So we had about 20% up to 1 in 5 of children who actually had low birth weight when they were born, and it ended up being a risk factor in this study for stunting, but not for obesity. So many of the risk factors that we did find for stunting were actually low birth weight, incomplete immunization status.
What would be the hope for you, Prof? As I start saying goodbye, forgive me, Prof, what would be the hope of this study once it is complete and you've gotten everything that you want from this? What are you hoping gets done with this information? Who's going to do what with this? Just the last question to you.
So the Department of Health was they have already used this on various of their planning platforms to plan the intervention, reconsider. The recommendation from the study was actually for the department to actually look at everything that is in place at the moment and then reconsider that, see what is working, what is not working, and then at the end of the day, add to that. And in that way, contribute to addressing this sort of the double burden of malnutrition, of which
it's fascinating that there's obesity and malnutrition as well, all at the same time, down in the Western Cape. It's a fascinating study, Prof, and I really appreciate you taking time to talk to me. I think it's going to be something we're going to have to follow up with, especially on the youngsters. Principal investigator of the study joining me this morning, Emeritus Professor Marjanne Senekal.